All right, so have your homework sitting in front of you. If you need to pause to fix something, please do that. At the end of this, you're going to turn it into the 3 desks near my desk under block 1 or block 2, whichever block you are. And so the only way I'll be giving it back to you is if you don't have everything you're supposed to have and it's not correct. All right, so let's go ahead and check your work. One little thing I want you to be aware of is, yes, we are moving these things on the place value chart, but you can also look at this little note that I took here. When I'm multiplying by 100, I see that it's moving this direction, which makes the decimal point go this way. And if you count how many zeros, you can actually do these swoops, 1, 2. So I know that's going to be 667.1 or and 1/10. So something to just be aware of as you go over this with me. All right, so we moved this 100 times more. So that's 1 place, 2 places over. Okay. This one, you have to pay attention to the operation. We're dividing by 1,000. So since we're dividing by 1,000, our place value, our decimal point is moving a different direction. So when I'm moving this place value, dividing by 1,000, the place value is actually moving this direction. So the number's getting smaller. I count 1, 2, 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3 zeros, and so my decimal point would go right there. But this is how we can represent it on here. And you can see this would be divided by 10, divided by 100, and divided by 1,000. All right. Next page. If you look here, 7.281, since we're multiplying by 100, 10 times more, 100 times more. Multiplying by 1,000, so starting here in this place value, 10 times more, 100 times more, 1,000 times more. You can also remember that's just moving this decimal point 3 zeros worth, 1, 2, 3, same type of thing. Now it does down here say explain how and why the value of the 2 changed. So the 2 in problem A is 10 times more. The 2 in problem B is 100 times more, and the 2 is 1,000 times more in problem C. So let's go ahead and take a look at this page. You can see we're now dividing by 100, and so we're going to be moving the decimal point 2 places. And so we can show that here. The number's getting smaller, and so that decimal is moving 2 places to the left, and visually it looks like this. Okay, so here's the 2 places. Since it's divided by 100, we're now dividing by 1,000, so it had to move 1, 2, 3 places over, and you have to fill those placeholders there. So now we need to answer the final question. Explain how and why the value of the 6 changed in the quotients in A, B, and C. So in A, the 6 is 1/10 times the other 6. So one thing I want you to be aware of is a fraction, like 1/10, this means divided by 10. That's what this symbol means. It's a division symbol. So in the second one, the 6 is 100 times the other 6, meaning it's 6 divided by 100, which moves it 2 decimal places over, or 2 place values over. And then the third one, the 6 being 1/10 times the amount, 1/100th, and 1,000th. So it is 1,000th times the other 6, meaning it is 6 divided by 1,000. It's the same thing. All right, moving to your last page, let's go ahead and take a look at this. It says that they counted this many monarch butterflies. The actual amount is 1,000 times as large. About how many? So you can see we need to answer the question, explain our thinking, and actually give a complete sentence answer. So here's my equation, times 1,000. I know that means I'm moving the decimal point 3 places to the right, 1, 2, 3, which creates this. I explained my thinking. I added 3 zeros to the number since we are multiplying by 1,000. And I answered the question. There are about, because it says about, I can round and just say 8,900,000 butterflies. You could have done 9 million. You could have even given the exact number that you got, because I'm sure that would be an estimate anyway. All right, this one. The teacher instructed him to divide his number by 100, and then it showed this. Draw a picture of what it looked like at first. So you can see in my explanation here, instead of dividing by 100, we need to work backwards. So I multiplied by 100 to get the original number. Each digit moved 2 places to the left, and I showed that in the place value chart. This perimeter problem, this is the perimeter in meters on a map. The actual one is 1,000 times as large. And so it does say explain using a place value chart. So whether I wanted to or not, I had to draw this and show that it's 10 times more, 100 times more, 1,000 times more to identify what the actual perimeter is. And then you need to answer the question in a complete sentence. So make sure you have all this, and then you can go ahead and turn it into the 3 tables.